Hello guys, welcome to this video. Today I brought you the greatest build in Grandmasters I've ever played on Hunters, hands down. And this ain't no lie, my cape heroes, as you can see, I'm using this build in every Grandmaster because this build lacks in literally nothing. You will be grenade spamming, you will be crowd controlling, you will be damaging, you get your super back like it's nothing. This build don't even need an exotic, but yeah, that would be a major crime for our guardian, so we won't commit that, right? And that's why we are using our exotic leg armor Star Eater scales, which eats orbs and give us double the super energy we get from a single orb, and of course increases our super damage with the buff called Feast of Light. It can stack up to 4 times. The more you stack it, the more super damage it does, and if you're at the max Feast of Light, you get an overshield also. Guys, this build is that great that I totally forgot my Void Hunter existed at all. I know it's great and some people will still prefer it, but guys, this build has insane amount of survivability, with insane amount of suspending, with insane amount of super regen, with insane amount of damage. So many insanes right there. What else you guys need, huh? Tell me, what do you need? Okay, let's come to our subclass and let's see what we are rocking in this build, guys. So on our abilities, I'm using Gambler's Dodge, Triple Jump, Threaded Spike, and I'm using Shackle Grenade. So Shackle Grenade will suspend targets whenever we throw our grenade on the targets, it will suspend them. On our aspects, I'm using Widow's Silk. You have an additional grenade charge, so we have 2 Shackle Grenade charges. On our second aspect, I'm using Ensnaring Slam. Activate your air move to consume your class ability energy and dive to the ground, suspending all nearby targets on impact. So guys, let's come to our fragments and let's see what makes this build so crazy good. On our first slot, we're using Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. On our second slot, we're using Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy. So whenever we defeat the targets or deal damage to targets, we'll be getting our grenade and class ability back with these 2 fragments. On our third slot, we're using Thread of Warding, and it helps in survivability in insane way, in a great way. It will help us survive. On our fourth slot, we're using Thread of Continuity. Suspend, Unravel, and Sever effects applied to targets have increased duration, so they will be suspended for a longer durations, guys. Our champions will be suspended for longer durations. So I have 3 loadouts for you guys. 2 will be the main. So one loadout is Wish Ender, Doom of Celsius, and Commemoration. You can also swap Arbalest, but why I am using Wish Ender is, first of all, for a primary, it does an insane amount of damage already, and if you use Arbalest, sometimes you will be like, should I shoot it, should I not? But Wish Ender, you have infinite ammo, so you will be killing enemies with Wish Ender a lot, and they will be dying with 1 shot in Grandmasters also, which is very great. So this is my first loadout, like Anti-Barrier, Unstoppable, and our Commemoration is here. My second loadout will be Osteostriga with the Trusty and this Price Content Linear Fusion Rifle. Because we are using Osteo here, we don't need to use machine gun. We should rather use a linear fusion rifle, which will do a great amount of damage. So yeah, and if I said a third loadout, it will be Anti-Barrier and Overload, and rest will be safe. So yeah. So guys, these are the loadouts I would prefer with this build. In any GM, you can go in any GM and use these same loadouts. You will see the difference. Guys, let's come to our mods and let's see what we're using. On our helmet, I'm using 1 Kinetic Siphon, which is for Wish Ender or Osteostriga. We're using 1 Heavy Ammo Finder, and we're using 1 Void Siphon or Solar Siphon or Arc Siphon. Like whatever heavy weapon or whatever the different secondary or heavy weapon you're using, put the Siphon mod in here. On our gauntlets, we're using 2 Grenade Kickstart and 1 Impact Induction. On our chest armor, I'm using 1 Concussive Dampener, 1 Solar Resistance, or the resistance which the activity needs, which the activity gives incoming threat damage is increased. You just place that damage resistance mod here, and 1 reserve mod, whichever heavy weapon you're using for that. On our leg armor, I'm using 2 word weapon surges, with recuperation. So if I'm using two word weapons, I would use word weapon surges. If I was using linear fusion, that solar one, I would swap it with two solar surges. So on our class items, I'm using 3 bomber, guys. And why I am not using Reaper is, like, you won't be using your class ability near enemies a lot. You will be using your grenades though, and you will be spamming it. So that's why I'm using bomber here. But don't worry, you will also use your engineering slam in the moments, in your own moments in Grandmasters. You will use it, and you won't be dead, or you might be dead. I don't know. But if you saw here what we are doing here, this build is one of the best builds I've ever played on Hunter, guys. And this ain't no clickbait, this ain't nothing. This is what I've experienced playing, and this is totally legit. As you can see, we are playing Grandmasters already. So guys, if you found this build helpful and if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more content and more crazier builds like this, and with much better content also. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for the support you've been giving me. GG Guardians.